time to... Oh, hey.
Oh, hi. Greg's reading messages from Ann.
Yes, I am.
And I was doing research, and I was putting Greg to sleep because we are on to Booster Gold, number 24, and
I've read
it's
23.
a Millennium crossover. Yeah, no, you read 20. We did 23 last week.
That's why this one looks so familiar.
Yeah, you are very confused, usually.
I am, like a Pokemon that has been poisoned.
Do Pokemon get poisoned?
Yeah, Dan.
That's mean.
They can get confused and turned around, and then they can't battle.
Is that gaseous guy?
Gaseous guy?
I don't know, the one that looks like a giant fart. Is he the one that poisons people? He doesn't look like giant. He has farts coming out of his edges.
Oh, most, well,
what,
not most.
Ghastly? Is it Ghastly? No, that's the ghost one.
Well, there's a lot of ghost Pokemon. But yes, there are some that...
Not the ghost Pokemon. I'm talking about the poison one that's like purple and he's like kind of round and he like...
I don't know all the Pokemon, Dan. What do you think I am?
Yes, you do. You play Pokemon. I used to know them because I played Pokemon Go with my dog. We go on walks and play Pokemon Go.
Your dog plays Pokemon Go?
She's really good at finding Pokemon.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's a little hunter.
Yeah. Yes, we covered this on last episode.
She get very impatient when we
go
look for Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
We'd walk around Pacific Lutheran University's campus looking for Pokemon. People loved her, so they'd pet her. That was a long time ago. It was before the end times.
Before the end times. Well, you can do it again because it's back and it's popular.
I do not need another addiction. I have enough addictions.
That's true.
So,
like
we're going to stay away
Gold.
from Pokemon Go. Like Booster Gold.
Oh, man.
Learning the law.
Yes, all those things. Learning the law of Booster Gold.
Law. Seeing my baseball thing just lost.
Oh, no. Everybody's back on that baseball thing again.
Yeah. Well, it's an important thing.
It is the season. Yes.
If you enjoy something, you should do it.
You should.
As long as it doesn't become your whole life, like this stupid game. And then
at least you're admitting it.
It becomes your whole life. Yeah. But it's all good. I was doing some quick side research before the podcast, and Greg was falling asleep, and we're going to get into Booster Gold number 24. And I can tell you, this is a Millennium crossover, but I can tell you what we're not going to do.
What's that?
What
was that?
Shut up. I'm done. That was a Star Trek communicator noise.
Oh, okay. The sound when you get a message.
I have a Star Trek communicator in the house.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm. This is a Booster Gold comic. It is a Millennium Week 3 crossover, and I can tell you what we're not covering.
What are we not covering?
We're not covering Millennium, and we're not covering the end of the Green Lantern Corps / Green Lantern series.
What? Why?
We are covering Booster Gold.
Okay.
Well, I don't have enough time to read all the Millennium books. That is a crossover I've never taken the time to read. I've been told often that it's when it's probably the last one you do take the time to read. So I've just never done it. I could do it. I mean, and here's my comic book history. So this Millennium came out in cover date January 88, so that would have been end of 87. So I did not have enough money to buy my own comics in mass yet. I wasn't getting a lot. When Invasion came out, I had enough to buy the 3 Invasion books, but I didn't get a lot of the crossovers, I don't think. No, I got them because that was LAGION time. I think there must have been a break. There must have been a year between. I didn't start collecting Justice League International until in the 20s. Because I didn't have the money to buy them each month. And then at that time, Justice League JLI number 1 was worth a lot. And for a lot, I mean like $10. And we didn't want to spend $10 on a comic.
At that time, I mean, that's a week's worth of food right there.
Yeah, it was, so when you're buying comics for 75 cents or $1, this one was $1, $10 is a lot. And I could buy 10 Legion back issues for that $10. I could buy old Adventure Comics books for like $2. I could buy 5 of those for won Justice League #1. So I didn't buy it for a long time. When I did eventually get one, I've got it signed by 2 of the 3 creators. Unfortunately, Keith passed away before I could get his signature on it. But and it stunk because I was at a show in North Carolina a few years ago, and DeMatteis was there, and Keith was supposed to be there, and he got sick, and so I was gonna have both of them sign at the same time. And unfortunately, I just have one writer and the artist, and that's it. But this isn't JLI. This isn't Justice League Cast or Justice League International Cast. This is Booster Gold, but it does all fit in because what I was trying to explain is why Dan hasn't read this crossover. Well, it was just before I had money to buy more than one comic a month or a couple comics a month. So I was buying Legion of Superheroes. As we've told the story in the past, my dad would drive me to O'Leary's Books in Tacoma, Washington, which is no longer there. I would get one issue and I would read it on the way home, usually with the car light shining in the back of the car onto my book from other cars, trying to read the comic all the way home. And that's where I read the Legion of Superheroes Millennium story, 2-parter. And so I knew that Millennium was a thing. I've known it's a thing for a long time. I've just never gone back and read it.
Now is your time.
And now I don't have it. I don't own it. And I actually don't own it in omnibus or any kind of that form either.
Listeners, do you think Dan should go back and read all of Millennium, beginning to end?
Dan doesn't have time to read 8 weeks of crossovers. And
you could if you made the time for things that you like.
Exactly. I'm making the time for things. I'm making times for things that I like, which is not reading Millennium. I have 8 long boxes of comics over there to read.
Do you like all the characters that are in Millennium?
I like some of them. Well, so that's kind of an awkward statement because Millennium, all right, so Millennium was a story where the Manhunters come to prevent beings on Earth from evolving. Now, with the help of the Manhunters, we're getting toward the end of the Green Lantern series, so we were that's what I was making Greg bored looking up. So Green Lantern, Green Arrow gets popular in 1972, but the book actually is canceled, so the very famous Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams run didn't have enough sales to keep it going. But it got a bunch of buzz, so they bring it back 4 years later in 1976 with Denny O'Neil writing and Mike Grell drawing it. So that goes on, and O'Neil is on and off the book until O'Neil is on and off the book until around 1982, and then Marv Wolfman is pretty consistently on the book for a minute. And there was one more, I think Joey Cavallari is who we saw in between. And then you get Steve Englehart takes over the book in May of 1985, cover date on 188. At this point, there's a few issues before. John Stewart has firmly replaced Hal Jordan as the main character of the book. You get no Hal Jordan throughout Crisis. You get John Stewart is the Green Lantern during Crisis, and in May in issue 188, Englehart removes the mask from John Stewart. So John Stewart is just a person who is a Green Lantern, and people know who he is. And there you go. So there's some big changes. By this time, the Green Lantern book has become Green Lantern Corps, and it's going to end a few months after this book. We'd had a couple crossovers now. We'd had Crisis, and we'd had Legends. And now we get the Green Lantern office's turn at a crossover with the idea of launching a new book called The New Guardians coming out of this. So those were the evolved beings that were there, that were coming, that the Manhunters were trying to prevent from spawning. So this is what this whole story is about. And again, I haven't read the whole story, but there you go. And it was a weekly story, which is another reason I did not buy it, because with the other, with a lot of the other crossover books, they were monthly books.
Gotcha.
I could afford to get
Monthly
an
book.
extra book each month, but I could not afford to buy one book every week, nor did I have a comic shop to go to, or a parent that would take me to a comic shop, I should say, every week to go get said book until I started driving a couple years later. So that also makes a big difference. Obviously, when I drove, as you are aware, we would go get comics all over the place.
Yes, we would. And we did.
Because gas was $1 a gallon, and even in my car that went about 8 to 11 miles per gallon,
it was still.
Well, I had a free gas card too, so
Yeah.
it helped.
I remember.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a big difference. So yeah, I had somebody calling me out. You weren't as poor as you claim you were, and I was like, it was a friend of mine. I was like, yeah, I know. I said where I wasn't is that I had a job every summer.
Mm-hmm.
I would save my money, and I was lucky. Here's where I wasn't poor, because my father had a business, and he gave me a gas card from his business, and I was able to use that for my car. So that actually, looking back, was quite a benefit. I just didn't have money for anything else.
Right.
Which is true. I mean, you can vouch for that.
Yeah.
You were there.
I was there, and similar boat.
Yeah. So, but we would go get comics and talk to comic people, and I was very frugal with my money, but not so frugal. I probably should have been saving it for college or something important, but I would save it up to buy comic books. So
It's save your money, put it towards your education. It's important.
But I didn't save it. That was the
I-
point. I spent every last penny I could get to scrape together on comics.
Don't be like us.
Yeah. So Millennium was a book, and Manhunter agents. So the whole thesis is there are secret Manhunter agents, sleeper agents. So sort of like a what's that? What's the movie where they try to kill the president, like the sleeper agents?
The Manchurian Candidate?
Yeah, it's kind of Manchurian Candidate like, right?
Yeah.
Where these are all supposedly they're sleeper agents, they've acted as people, they've done the whole time. I believe the Legion crossover was kind of ridiculous because the robot supposedly, or the android supposedly lived 1,000 years into the future to try to stop the evolution later.
Okay.
Which it didn't make any sense.
It didn't work.
Yeah, well, it had already happened.
It's an android. It can live into the future. Providing
well, sure, it can, but it didn't. The story didn't make a lot of sense. And
true.
For Legion, it came right after the really cool story we read. It came right after the Death of Superboy story, which made no sense in the flow at all. You just had them all declaring that they're going to go kill the time trapper.
Yeah,
literally. And then you have a 2-issue story about a robot from the past.
A past trapper
that they have to fight.
Yeah.
So that, and honestly, with Booster, I don't know that it interrupts the story because it's going to end the story because we have 2 issues left and both of them are Millennium crossovers. So,
well,
that was a lot of setup.
That was a lot of setup.
Greg didn't even I wouldn't even let Greg be funny. I know.
You just ran right through it. I mean, but then again, you had prefaced for the 25 minutes you were preparing for all this, you said you weren't going to talk about Millennium, and there you go.
Listeners, not after this.
Listeners, look what you got. You got something that Dan was committed to not talking about. He talked about it, and he talked about it with such reverence that I couldn't crack a joke.
Yep. And so out of Millennium comes a series called New Guardians. It lasts 12 issues. And so that should tell you how successful the Millennium.
And like I said earlier, I mean, that's a standard TV series run right now. Sometimes like a limited series or whatever is 12 episodes. So, I mean, that's fair. it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just doesn't. It just means that it was supposed to be what it was.
Well, we were talking before the podcast too, and I mentioned Steve Englehart was running the Green Lantern side of the house, and I mentioned that here. He writes, he contributes to Millennium, and then he gets to write a new book out of that, the New Guardians. It lasts a grand total of 12 issues. So he loses Green Lantern Corpse, and then writes this other book, and it's a corpse. And eventually, they relaunch Hal Jordan with Keith Giffen's Emerald Dawn, the storyline, and then he who shall not be named starts writing Green Lantern until Ron Mars takes over. So,
hooray, Ron Mars.
Yeah, it's yeah. So kind of the end of Englehart's sort of relevance too as a big creator at DC. It doesn't mean he doesn't do other stuff, but
he goes on, but not doing giant things.
Not for doing a lot of DC stuff.
The DC properties.
Yeah, it looks like he was at Marvel in '83. He worked through Millennium at DC. It says in 2005.
Goes back.
He did a 6-issue Batman miniseries, Batman Dark Detective. I don't know what he did in between. I assume he did some other sort of writing, probably television writing or something else. Probably something I can figure out via Wikipedia.
The Wikipedias. The internet is your friend, Dan.
Yeah, if I go to it, but yeah, it's just it's an interesting sort of thing where he was writing, kind of controlling the Green Lantern stuff, and then this crashes and burns, and yeah, he wrote novels. Okay, so he wrote a series of young adult novels.
What were they called?
The DNAgers. I've heard of that series.
I've never heard.
Countdown to Flight. I've heard of that. So, yeah, it's he was nominated for the best comic book writer by the Eagle Awards in 1979. So, and best continued story for his work on Detective Comics.
Okay.
475 and 476. So a lot there. He came back and did some stuff in the 2000s. But yeah, I mean, he did a bunch of work for Malibu. There we go. That's where he disappeared to. He did a 23-issue run of some book called Nightman for Malibu.
Okay.
And a book called Strangers. And yeah, so there we go. There's the in-between, in-between. Some Malibu comics. He did some Topps comics in 93, 94. Jurassic Park Raptor. Return to Jurassic Park. He did the first 4 issues of X-Men Man of War for Valiant in 92.
That's cool.
So here's some cool stuff. He did some Warren books. Not very many.
Oh yeah.
When he first started, he did 3 issues of Vampirella.
Ah.
A couple issues of Eerie. A couple issues of Creepy.
Okay.
That's cool.
Eerie and Creepy, right up my alley.
And some television credits. He's got a couple of G.I. Joe Extreme from 97. Of course it's Extreme because it's in the 90s.
Of course.
I never saw an episode of that series.
I have not either.
Maybe listener Jason can tell us about it.
He might be able to tell us.
Street Fighter, the animated series, a couple episodes. Okay. So there we go. That's what happened to him when he leaves. But yeah, I mean, you talk about, it's interesting with Englehart. I ask you, what's your favorite Steve Englehart story? And I kind of called him a ham and egger, which is not fair. He was nominated to be the best writer in comics in 1979, but sort of falls off here of the big two, at least for a while.
What are you talking about? Malibu's right up there.
And it looks like he only wrote New Guardians number 1 and 2. So he launches that. So he may not be the reason it died.
He started it, but they wanted someone else to finish it.
But he basically writes Green Lantern from 85 until 88, and then does the transition New Guardians, and then is gone.
Solid.
I wonder if it's because Millennium crashed so badly.
Maybe.
These are things I won't know until next week when I grab one of my big history books out from Miami. But
digs it out and finds out. Lets us know.
Well, all that said, I talked about this for 20 minutes, something I said I wasn't going to talk about, but I feel like there's some important setup there because all of a sudden now this Green Lantern storyline is invading all of the other DC books for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And you get crossovers and yeah, I mean, and so if you were a book that came out monthly and it's an 8-week maxi series, then if you were a book with a crossover, 2 of your books crossed over.
Oh my goodness.
And the last 2 issues of Booster Gold were it. And so we get another Dan Jurgens and Ty Templeton collaboration, which is nice.
It is nice.
It is a pretty cover.
It is it's very cool.
And Booster Gold's being attacked by his house.
Oh my gosh. The AI has got him.
Yeah, finally. And so
what? Finally?
It's interesting. Well, everybody keeps saying it's going to get us.
Booster called it.
And we get a really weird M&M's ad.
Oh, yeah? Oh, interesting. It's a big hand.
It's wearing watches. I don't know.
It's time to eat your M&Ms.
I mean, that is a way to advertise M&Ms, I guess.
I suppose.
It must be Halloween time. So we're doing Halloween scary things. We get a anatomically correctly drawn Booster Gold.
Yeah.
On good page booster. 1. And Booster's returning home. He apparently helped Captain Atom out. I guess Captain Atom's Manhunter was going after them. It doesn't say who Captain Manhunter. Captain Manhunter.
That's a character.
That would be a book to collect.
Captain Manhunter.
I think I would like that book. Well, this book.
Yeah.
It doesn't say who his Manhunter is. So if you're reading Captain Atom and you read this first on accident, then you would not. It wouldn't spoil the story.
So looking at that editorial noting, could be anybody.
That Barbara Kesel, what a good editor.
Yes.
Not spoiling stuff. And Booster's quite satisfied with himself because he feels like he helped Captain Atom. And he tries to go home and his house shoots him.
Yeah, just blast. That.
And he's speculating the whole time. He's like, well, I wonder, I wouldn't have a Manhunter because I pay everybody's paychecks. Yeah. And the Manhunters, I don't know if I clearly explained this, but because I think I got distracted by the Englehart talk, but the Manhunters were all, I mentioned they were androids, but they were sleepy. They were sleeper cells, right? I mentioned that, like Manchurian Candidate. So every one of the writers had to come up with a character to sacrifice, basically.
Yeah.
As one of these Manhunters. And so most of the time, you're not going to sacrifice a major character to be a Manhunter.
Right.
So I mentioned Legion sacrificed Laurel Kent, who was a long-term academy student and descendant of Superman, supposedly. And we saw the advertisement for Action Comics where they said, will it be Perry White, Lois Lane, or Lana Lang? I don't know because I never read the issue. So we could find out.
Speculate. It's okay.
Oh, my speculation was I was going to guess that it was probably Lana Lang.
Perry White.
Because if there's no Superboy.
Yeah. Oh, there's no Superboy.
The Lana Lang character not nearly as important.
Not important. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have years of Superman's history to get rid of. You just can get rid of the character. So I mean that's my assumption. Again, I don't know. I honestly don't know because I've never read it. And you've read this before, but I did not know who was going to be the Manhunter here. Though
it's a crazy turn when you find out it's Booster Gold.
Yeah, I figured it out as soon as, I mean, I'm going to be real honest. I won't tell you yet, but I figured it out as soon as his house started attacking him. Because if you've been reading the Booster Gold book as we have,
Mm-hmm.
and the house starts attacking him, there was only one person in charge of all the renovations to the house because
Skeets.
everybody else was gone
It was
in the
Skeets.
future.
Because Skeets can hook into the house.
And so when we
Never
find
liked
out
that
it's
guy.
Jack,
Yeah.
who,
Then-
spoiler, it is not. Yeah, what I did miss about these first couple pages when the house is attacking Booster is Booster yelling at Jack to fix things, because that was kind of funny in the past.
Right.
Jack is nowhere to be found. Booster goes through a trap door. His house starts attacking him again. We give an advertisement for Tang Soccer, which should not be something that is legal for children.
Tang or soccer?
Yes.
Or Tang soccer?
Tang Soccer,
I see.
specifically, I think. I don't know. Is that Pele? That is Pele. Pele
Could
is
be, yeah.
everywhere.
I mean, time frame wise, I remember when I was a kid and playing with my Nerf soccer ball, I'd always yell Pele when I kicked.
Pele was everywhere.
Yeah.
You could build a model here. I got some NPC models.
Yeah.
Again, you'd think a company advertising model cars would have a better advertisement.
It's fine.
This looks like something out of
Mad Magazine.
I don't know where. It's weird. You'd think they'd emphasize the model cars. But I guess if you build model cars, all the other little girls, this is just a creepy ad. Well, anyway,
bizarre.
Booster goes into the depths of his house. He's talking the whole time to nobody but himself. You'd think these would be thought bubbles, but he's talking out loud the whole time.
Well, I mean, he's talking to the house.
Well, I think it's best he's got to entertain himself, right? So
Right.
And then we flip the page, and Dirk and Trixie are talking, and Trixie's like, "Hey, Dirk, all of Booster Gold's money is gone. Who stole it?" And we know from last issue, somebody was stealing all of his money.
Somebody was.
And then the power goes out.
Oh, man.
And they're in the dark. Well, the power's out because Booster Gold's knocked the power out for a second. And Skeet shows up and is like, it seems we're in a crisis. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You don't want to be in a crisis in DC.
No.
He says, even as we speak, Booster is being attacked by the Mansion's defense systems. So somebody's figured it out, usually as Skeets. Then we get an advertisement for all of the... is it Taito or Tato? You're going to have to help me.
Taito? Or Taito? Oh, is it the games?
Their games. Yeah.
Taito.
You get an advertisement for all of their best Nintendo games, which I only know one of. So you get Elevator Action.
That's a good one.
The Legend of Cage.
Of course.
Renegade.
Yeah.
And Arkanoid.
Yeah. All good
So
games.
I've heard of one. I've heard of one.
Renegade?
No.
Elevator Action.
No.
Arkanoid.
You know which one everybody's heard.
I've played all the other ones. They're great.
Of course you have.
Of course I.
We turn the page again, we get an advertisement for self-defense classes, and we get again the Millennium checklist here.
Oh.
So we've got
So you know how to
all
stay
8
on
weeks
track.
of Millennium. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and think about too, like, I know Crisis was a big pull, right? But Crisis you got over the year, right? So
Right.
you could buy each month the Crisis books.
Yeah.
Well, here to keep up, you had to buy new books each week. So the first week if you wanted to keep up with Millennium, you had to have the money to buy Millennium, Firestorm, Flash, Justice League International, Outsiders, and Wonder Woman.
A lot.
In week 2, you had to buy Millennium #2, Batman Blue Beetle, which that series is going to end too. Spoiler. Legion 42, Secret Origins 22, Superman 13, and Young All-Stars #8. It's just a lot. And in week 3, where we're at, you had to buy Adventures of Superman 436, Booster Gold 24, Corpse 220, and Infinity Inc.
Man.
number 46.
That is a lot of books, though. I get it. I understand. Why
And
you're
week
not-
4.
yeah.
Here's your month too.
Yeah.
Millennium 4, Teen Titans Spotlight 18, Action 596, Captain Atom 11, Detective 582, Suicide Squad 9, Spectre number 10. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's what, 5 books the first week,
So many.
11 books. And then we got 16 books, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's a minimum. And some of those are direct only books, because Legion and and so that's a minimum of $1 per book, but some books are $1.50
Right.
or $1.25. That's a lot of money.
You're spending a lot on books that you may or may not like, but you might, like I said, you might like some of the characters, so you might do it, but you might not.
And it just wasn't, and from what I understand, because I haven't read it, but what I've been told is it wasn't a great story either. So this is not the best way to hook people into your books either. And then when you grab a book, too, I think some of the failing of is similar to the failing, I think, in what was that after Civil War when they did the scroll.
Oh,
the scrolls were everywhere.
The scrolls were
in
everywhere.
Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, just the similar failing, right? It's like, well, all these scrolls are here. So one of these characters you've been interacting with for months has been a scroll. And it's the same trope in pro wrestling too, like when somebody turns on somebody, but they turn on them after they've been their tag team partner the whole match, which never makes sense to me. Like, now, if they're building up tension or something like that, that's one thing. But just like out of the blue, oh, they wrestled the whole match together, and now you're going to beat him up. Like, if you were there, why wouldn't you just beat him up at the start of the match?
I mean, because you got to get through the first round of beatings first. You can't just turn heel right at the beginning, because you got to get through those other opponents, man.
So if it's out of disgust or something, yeah, that's one thing. But if it's to turn heel to partner with the other guys, why wouldn't you have just done that at the start?
True.
And
honestly though, I mean, you see that with like in I want to say like in a my brain has broken. Anyways, continue.
Well, Game of Thrones, I'm sure.
That was just a bunch of turning and turning and turning.
Benedict Arnold.
Yeah. Well, yeah. True.
But this idea, the Manchurian Candidate idea, if there's a sleeper. I think Manchurian Candidate, though, is such a good movie because that's the bad guy, right?
Right.
And you're like,
from the perspective of,
you're stressing because you're anticipating what's going to happen, right?
When he going to turn.
Right. Whereas this is just like, the mystery is, well, who is going to be the bad guy in the group?
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got to figure out a reason they were a Manhunter the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to figure out a reason why no man stops the Manhunters or can defeat them.
Is there androids or mandroids? Captain Manhunter.
So, and then what happened to the other Manhunter?
From the book before?
Yeah, that was in the Manhunter book.
No, he got hunted.
Maybe. Was he also an android?
Maybe he was waiting, lying in wait. He was also hunting the hunters.
It's possible.
Well,
anyway,
the Mandroid.
Booster Gold finds out there's a whole fortress beneath his house.
What the heck? So he's got all this real estate.
Yeah, and then as he's fighting, the Manhunter appears in an image. This book has been well read, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's like a hologram.
This is one I got out of $1 Min.
Best kind.
Yep. And yeah, there's a hologram, and he's taunting him. Well, Trixie gets back into the house, is looking around. Booster busts in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, what'd you do to the floor?" And he's like, "I think it's been great." And she tells him, "You're broke. All of your bank accounts have been drained. Booster Gold International is empty. In fact, you're even in deep debt now."
Oh no.
Skeets appears, and they're all headed in, and they're going to get that darn Mackenzie Garrison who Booster just hired.
Yeah, because it's all Mac's fault.
And she's just standing there and says, "Yeah, thank you. I turned on the lights for you."
Oh.
And then there's a zit. Hey, it's an advertisement for the Oxy, the Oxy 10.
Yeah, get yourself clean.
Yeah.
T-zone.
And that's so just like the last few issues, we still have the Oxy advertisement, except it's just written into the text here.
Right there. So it's it.
And there's a Manhunter standing there.
Oh, damn.
And they hear the voice and they're like, "That's Dirk Davis."
Oh, Dirk. He is a jerk.
I was really liking the story where he's fighting with the house.
Oh,
and then we get to page here 13, because there are page numbers in this book, as all books should have page numbers, so you have something to reference.
Okay. Some people like it, some people don't. It's an opinion.
Yeah. And it's not an opinion, it's a fact. Just like, I'm sure it's raining robot parts. The story of Alex and his raining
has no page numbers, just for you.
Yeah.
That's
we'll
exactly
have no page numbers.
Well, that's what Brett said. He was like, "I'm not going to do page numbers for Dan because..."
Yeah, and we'll get beautiful Wadelli art of robot parts falling out of a sky.
Yeah. It's just raining parts and then no page numbers because he knows what you like.
And by the way, that book is on Kickstarter. We'll give you a link to that. We give you a link every week. If you hit that link and hit notify me when the book launches, you'll find out when this book launches.
First in line.
You'll find out what all the robot parts are all about.
Yeah.
But we're back to Millennium.
Mm-hmm. Where there's other robot parts.
Well, there's not any parts yet. There's just robots.
It's just robots.
Anyway, we get this long
boys.
thing. We find out that Dirk has robbed him blind. He wants to stop the Justice League from helping these aliens elevate people. Trixie is now crying because she said she was actually starting to like Dirk, which also is annoying.
Fall in love with Dirk.
And then the Manhunter grabs her, and Booster's like, "Yeah, take her hands off her."
That makes me wonder about his child.
Dirk's, yes. Well, it does present issues when supposedly the Manhunters have been sleeper cell robots, but then they have children.
Mm-hmm.
And what my response would be is it's a small wonder to find out.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Well done, Dan.
I appreciate that. And see, every once in a while, I've got a reference.
He gets
somewhere.
one. Yeah.
Well,
he's been waiting on that one all day.
Basically, the Manhunter's like, nobody's going to own me. We get an advertisement we get a full page advertisement with some art by one Mr. Grell.
Oh, yeah.
Advertising Green Arrow book.
Yeah.
On sale monthly. No offense to the Millennium series, but I think I would rather be reading that book right now.
Oh, the Green Arrow book.
Yeah, and honestly, if you were a comic fan of a certain age, you would want to be reading that book. Another book I couldn't afford to buy until much later. And I wanted that book because it took place in Seattle.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want it?
And it had beautiful Mike Grell art.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't afford it. Alas, I could not afford it. So
it goes.
Well, the Manhunter he rolls a 20 on his athletics.
Yeah.
And does some flips. And they fly outside, and then Booster's like, "You know what? We're going to fight for a minute, but you know what? You're right. I think we are making a mistake. We should not let aliens evolve people on our planet. In fact, I don't remember of any of this in the future or anything, and I want my money back anyway, and so I'll partner up with you. But first, I'm going to hit you." And Dirk the Jerk, Manhunter, is like, good. If you hadn't done that, if you hadn't hit me, I would have doubted your motives. And Trixie's like, "You're joining the Manhunters? You've sold out for money?" So I believe that's the end of Trixie and Booster's relationship, probably.
That's Booster in a nutshell, right? He's all about that cash.
Apparently. and he asks Skeets if there's a record in your history bank of the Guardians advancing the cause of man. And Skeets says nope. So it makes sense for Booster to oppose it then. And he's going to join Dirk. And so Dirk is like, well, what I need you to do is hold a press conference. So they get a press conference. Booster shows up. We get an advertisement for Direct Comics and Games in Los Angeles, California.
Nice.
Getting more and more of these lists. I love this period where you get the list of books that you can just buy. You could get the second printing of G.I. Joe for $3, a number 2.
Deal.
You get issue 3 through 5 and issue 7 for $12 a piece.
Steal.
That's where we're starting to get some of those things to come up. Transformers much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You could get the first issue of Wolverine for $3.25.
Oh, wow.
You could buy a whole bunch of things. Speed Racer.
Oh, that's a good book. I really like that one. I'm not joking. That's not me being sarcastic. I thought those books were awesome.
Was that a Comico book?
Yeah, I believe so. If I'm correct. They did the same. They did Gumby too. I thought
here's something you could get.
They're 3D. Some of them.
Here's what you could get. You could get the third printing of Turtles #1 for $7.50. You get the fourth printing for $2.50. You get the first printing of Mutant Ninja Turtles #2 for $35.
I mean, steal.
Would you like to go back in time?
Yeah. I know
you get the first printing of #4 for $6. And here's where it's not such a bargain. You get the first 5 issues of ElfQuest for $1.25 a piece.
What do you mean that's not a bargain? Travis would be all over that.
Well, you can buy them now for 50 cents a piece. Another not bargain, the first issue of Doom Patrol, $2. Yeah, no, you can buy that for $0.25. So those later Doom Patrol issues come.
Yeah.
And then they start to get expensive. Let's see. Yeah, so here we go. This week in How to Buy Comics. You get J.M. DeMatteis and Paris Collins and Carl Kesel relaunching Forever People. So more Kirby stuff coming out. That's cool. 6-issue new format miniseries. And that was that new format. So that was coming out after the Baxter paper stuff. So the new format is post Baxter paper, but all direct sale, all nicer books.
Yeah.
I believe the whole Green Arrow series was new format. The New Guardian series that came out on Millennium was new format. Also, I'll talk about it after we get through the last couple pages of Booster, but yeah, this is going to be a short podcast because there's not a lot of substance in this book.
No. For us to talk about, maybe we should have done both books, but we wanted to dedicate a whole episode to the end of the Booster series. So yeah. Booster holds a press conference and he's like, yeah, the Justice League is wrong. They don't want to elevate these special Earthlings to near godhood. He's going to stand against them with the Manhunters. Dirk the Jerk is just happy in the background. And Booster says, it's going to be nice sitting on the right side of the fence for once. Oh.
And we've got continued in the pages of Millennium.
That's where it's at.
And then we get to the letter pages. And
best part.
We've got a TM Maple page and a TM Maple letter and a TE Bouncy letter.
Yeah. Gold.
And we do get a letter from a Matt Cody.
Oh, I thought you were going to read a letter from me.
And there's a letter from, we get a letter from Matt Cody of 1537 Upper Parkway South.
Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Okay, you live there. I don't know.
I did, yes.
From Wisconsin. 53213. Dear Dan, I guess Booster Gold is doomed after all. A recent comics buyer's guide has told me that with issue number 25, Booster Gold will be gone due to the fact that you don't like the way Booster Gold is going. I strongly disagree. Booster Gold is awesome. Please say Booster Gold. I don't want a revival. I want Booster Gold now.
Now.
And Jurgens says, sorry, gang, but it's true. Our next issue of Booster Gold will also be the last. More on that in the next month's letter column. We've received a lot of very good letters protesting the cancellation of the title, but at this point, it's just too late. So how do we wind up the series? And next issue, Booster, a traitor? Has Superman been right about this character all along? Read Millennium number 7 and then be here for the end. What do you need to know? Dan Jurgens. And we didn't read Millennium, so
We did not.
We don't know. That's part of the challenge. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This book starts out fun and becomes a real bummer.
Yeah. Well, as most, things that are short-lived do.
I don't think that it's hard because like this is what we're going to get into, like with Marvel Civil War and stuff. Now that we got the superheroes taking sides, I don't think it's out of character for Booster to stick up for his money.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does seem out of character for Booster to oppose progress.
Because he comes from the future where progress was there. But he might not like the future that he's from, so he might want things to change maybe in a different way so that his future doesn't happen.
He's also suffered a lot of loss lately, so it could be a reason he's out of character. I am okay with the choosing of Dirk for this, simply because Dirk had access to the house. There's clear explanations of how he could have been setting all these things up.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that Dirk the Jerk could have been the sleeper agent the whole time, manipulating Booster Gold for his own ends.
Right.
The small wonder child makes it a little bit weird. So if he
Maybe
hadn't
that's
had
why
a kid,
well, that's why he didn't want he wanted his daughter back so bad. He didn't want his small wonder robot daughter to get in the wrong hands because all of a sudden they find out she's not a real girl, and it's like, oh wow, we've got like all this crazy technology going on. What are we gonna do with it? Doesn't want to get it out of control, right? So
that makes sense. Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's also difficult to reconcile. And this is again the challenge of Millennium. It's difficult to reconcile everything that's happened with the character over the last 24 issues or 23 issues to rewrite them into this weirdness.
But I think we both can agree he was the right choice. It's not going to be any of the other characters.
Well, where is Jack?
I don't know.
I actually think Jack could have been a great choice.
Jack could have been a great choice, but
Jack's not referenced in the issue, never shows up in the issue. Jack's hardly been around. It could have explained a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Jack would have had the intelligence to siphon all the bank accounts
and
Jack
to know all the
Booster's
all the weaknesses.
Yeah. So
man, darn it, Dan, we should write a letter.
We should write a letter but then people would know where we live because it'd be published there.
Oh man, well that's why we use a PO box.
Yeah.
No one knows at that point. They just camp out your PO box until you get there. You're like, you jerk.
So yeah, we're nearing the end of Booster Gold. It's sad. Trixie is pretty much left of the supporting cast then.
Yeah.
If Rip Hunter's not around, if Jack's not around, I guess you have Mac, but Mac's hardly been there, so we don't know anything about the character.
Yeah. Mac kind of doesn't really fit into the, I don't think,
At least for now.
For now, yeah.
Slightly. This is a character that will be used again, I believe. But
just not right now.
Well, no, they don't. They don't use her again. Actually, I'm wrong. They use that's not the name of the character in Justice League, is it?
I don't know.
The conglomerate. they repurpose a different. They do a version of her. She gets reversioned, but they basically kind of like. Yeah, kind of like Tom Paris in Star Trek is a reversioning of that character from the Maquis episode, right? Yeah, or no, not the Maquis episode. Sorry, from the one where Wesley Crusher and they all crash the ships, the Academy, and then they get him. They don't have this. It's basically the same character, but it's not. It's kind of the same thing with that conglomerate DC.
Fair.
They basically have the Mackenzie Gore character, or Mackenzie, whatever her name is, but it's a different. The leader is different, but it's the same idea. It's like a business rival of Booster Gold, basically, kind of. So, Booster Gold was a member. Claire Montgomery, that's the name. She's a rival of Maxwell Lord. I take that back.
Oh, okay.
Created by Giffen and DeMatteis, but kind of the same idea.
Similar idea, yeah.
Yeah, and then Booster Gold joins with her.
Booster.
So, yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
But yeah, I mean, we got I mean, I think it's why people didn't like Millennium, honestly.
Maybe so.
Because
too many strings untied and too many boxes of mystery opened up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not, well, and they're ending the series, right? So if people knew that already.
Yeah, they're like, I hate this thing.
And now you're ending the series and then you're forcing me to buy these 2 books to loosely tie with the giant crossover book that's coming out over 8 weeks.
That I probably don't want to read.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yep.
And I do remember too thinking at the time, right, like with Justice League, and so, obviously Giffen writing it, and so I would have bought it if I had enough money, and I did eventually get it. But one of the things I thought, initially before reading this as a kid was like, so now in the Justice League, you're just taking these 2 characters with unsuccessful books and throwing them into the Justice League. So then why would I want to read that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the whole notion. Oh, there's 2 failed characters, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. We're throwing them in the Justice League, and great. So now you want me to buy the team book that has the failed characters, thrown from the books that failed. And why would I do that?
You wouldn't, most likely.
Yeah, under that logic, and I didn't. Yeah. Of course, it becomes one of the best writing things in the history of DC Comics with the Blue and Gold.
Yeah.
So, but at the time, like, why would you do that? And that's the other thing too. It's just, it did sort of almost feel like I don't know if you feel like this way, but I think it felt like the Justice League was, and it was, we've talked about it in the past, but spare parts.
Kind of, yeah.
And the spare parts are the reason they were able to do it so well.
Pull it all together, make a thing.
Yeah, but at the same, that's why they were able to, because they had the freedom to write with it. So it ended up being a great thing. But on the initial thought process, like, it sounds awful, doesn't it? Like, here's our plan to sell books. We're going to cancel 2 books. We're going to take the characters from those books, and we're going to put them in
cool book.
Yeah, we're going to put them in the Justice League. Yeah, so that sounds not great. And so, yeah, Blue Beetle lasts also 24 issues.
Maybe that was the plan all along.
Yeah, I don't think that was the plan all along. They wanted both these. Well, Blue Beetle specifically was out of Crisis, right? They were going to use the Charlton heroes, the Charlton action heroes. So Blue Beetle, they had Captain Atom out, right? They had Blue Beetle out. They wanted to use them. And that's why the Watchmen ended up not being the actual Charlton heroes ended up being analogs because they actually wanted to use the property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they tried. And yeah, but Booster, I mean, this is sad because I mean, we'll talk more about it next week, but I think it's cool to let a new character launch.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's capitalism, so you have to sell books for things to
Yeah.
keep going. And I really felt this book, once it hit its stride in the teens,
Mhm.
you had that blip there with the Cheshire and Hawk and
Yeah.
weird scientist storyline, which was not great. But, you know, I love the adventure in the future. You had some potential with the whole Gold Star stuff that could have
Mhm.
lasted longer, obviously. If you're
True.
not ending the book, you're probably not killing Gold Star that soon.
No.
Maybe she's fated to die, but I doubt it's that quickly. And then you had that supporting cast we talked about, and you had a
Mhm.
cool concept for a book moving forward, and then you rug pull it through editorial and cancel the book.
Yeah. And lose all that momentum.
And
But
for a
I
character
guess,
who people didn't think would last as long, right?
yeah. I mean, but I guess it did catapult the character into Justice League and into the blue and gold. So without doing all this, you don't get those things. So, I mean,
Yeah. Dan Jurgens still created the character
yeah.
and the concept. But, I mean, let's be honest. It was not Dan Jurgens' writing that carried the character. It was Giffen and DeMatteis.
Yeah.
And obviously too the Maguire art,
Bringing it all together.
yeah, the facial expressions,
Mm.
and the way they were able to do that, and it was just the Kevin Maguire art was key to the Justice League too, and that was obviously, I mean, you got the famous first issue with all the heads looking up and the snark on Guy Gardner's face, but
Right.
Maguire drew and draw, and doesn't just draw and draws.
He
I
drawed.
want to say drew. I don't want to imply that he is dead. Draws faces in a way that are very expressive, and it allowed writers like Giffen and DeMatteis, who are script heavy, right, to get away with a lot of dialogue because he draws expressive dialogue, and that's, you know, it is really good, and you get some really good storytelling, and but you also get, I mean, the big change for the two characters was the buddy team.
Yeah.
And
But
I guess
good.
too in breaking down, because that was the end of the Justice League storyline, right? Breakdown. Yeah. In breaking down Booster too, you get the impetus for all of the schemes that Blue Beetle and Booster Gold try to do to make money again, because Blue Beetle has trouble with his corporation and Booster Gold broke, and so they need a paycheck, and then they're always trying to get back. So you got
one guy that can handle a business okay, pair up with a guy who's not. I mean, he's a good schemer, and he had money together.
Yeah, well, I think the one was neither of them can handle a corporation. Blue Beetle was a scientist, right? And he was making money off his inventions, but he didn't know how to run a company. And then you've got Booster, who was making money off his face and had other people running his company. And really, remember, in this story, Booster Gold's company started making money when he was in the future.
When he was gone.
When Dirk reinvested everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a computer. Of course, he's going to know what to do.
Yeah, that's when he's AI, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
So,
yeah, can't go wrong.
Definitely. No, you can't go wrong. In fact, I highly recommend, if you're going to do some investing, just ask ChatGPT where to invest your money.
Gross.
It will, yeah.
I prefer to sit down with a real person so they can make mistakes and then I can be mad at them.
I don't understand why. I feel like you should just let ChatGPT take care of the work for you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like to make my own mistakes with my money.
So we'll do the wrap up issue. We'll do the wrap up next time, but We've got 24 issues out. Who was your favorite character in Booster Gold? That's
Well,
not Booster Gold or Skeets.
my favorite character in all of this, I would say coming out of a supporting cast, it's definitely, it's got to be either Trixie or Rip. For me, I like Trixie. Really humanizes a lot of stuff, I think, in certain ways, and really she's kind of like his conscience. Like, Skeets is like his conscience too, but more like a don't be dumb, do this, and Trixie is like the, hey, let me, you're out of place, and you're making bad moves and stuff like that, and calls him out on a lot of things. So I think that's really good. I definitely like Rip too, because I think like he's just interesting, and I don't feel like we got enough of him.
Yeah.
I'm
with you there. Yeah, so. We didn't. And Jack as well. I like Jack. Jack was kind of the comic foil. I create stuff, and sometimes it breaks, and he's kind of your wacky inventor character. I liked Jack, but yeah, I'm with you on Trixie. I think Trixie is the moral center of the story, and the more they got away from Trixie there toward the end, the less we saw of that. It would have been interesting to see the rivalry between Mac and Trixie if the stories had gone forward.
Right.
Where if you're getting rid, so let's say the stories were going forward, and I think that's probably why Mac is introduced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if the books continue, how you have to get rid of Dirk, then you have to have another manager there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mac is very clumsily brought in. It's just like, oh, I hired this person.
Yeah, everybody's shocked. Like, why?
Yeah. So Jurgens probably knows he's losing the other character, right? So if we had gone through, it would have been nice to see like the origin there, like how she got there, the rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but we don't get any of that, and that character's done forever.
Well, I mean, like you're saying too, I mean, you've got basically Booster stuck between two very centering people in his world. That one is like, hey, I'll be your moral center. Let me tell you what it is. And the other one's like, hey, I know the things that you want, and I'm going to help you get them, which is all of the business stuff under wraps, and your fame and everything else, your profile. And now he's really, if they did carry that on, yeah, the story could have been very interesting to see all that unfold as those two either butt heads. It's like having a devil and an angel on Booster's shoulder. Which one is he going to listen to?
Well, and I think, yeah, and that would have been enjoyable, and but we don't get any of that, and we get what Booster Gold became, which was a very different character than was written in this book.
Yeah,
I should say very different. I shouldn't say very different. I think Blue Beetle makes a much more drastic change than Booster does from his solo book to what he becomes. Whereas Booster is still, he's out there to get his pre-toasted bagels.
He's going to get it. He becomes, like, at least in his own book series, he is not a punchline, because you see him doing things, and yeah, he might step in it once in a while, but it's laughable for a moment, but yet he's competent. And
I love the whole notion that he has to be a punchline because nobody's supposed to know who he is.
Yeah.
He's like the hero that time forgot, right? That storyline was great. And what they're doing with him now, I mean, still the story is unfolding, but what they've been doing with him in the current DC Comics storyline is fine. I think it's a good use of the character too. I would say Jurgens tries to make him really powerful again. We mentioned this before on other podcasts, but tries to make him powerful during Death of Superman. And, I stood toe to toe with Doomsday and that. And I appreciate Dan Jurgens trying to bring back the character he created and make him important, but that time was past by then. Yeah, look, Booster really is a good. It was like when just what is wrong with my brain? Naomi creator Bendis, when Bendis put Naomi in everything in DC, because it got the TV show, and he puts Naomi in the Justice League, and you're like, yeah, maybe Teen Titans, right? Or
Maybe.
Yeah, but that didn't seem to work, and of course the character will probably never be seen again. It's like Jurgens. Oh, I created this guy, and I want to make him important again, so I'm going to throw him front and center. At least he'd still been in the book, right? And he's like reconceptualizing him. But yeah, I just felt that approach with Booster was never the right approach. Keeping core to, because that didn't keep core to his initial, Jurgens' initial concept either. It's like, I think keeping him core to this concept of being somebody from the future that wants to come back and be a superhero and can never just figure it out, and never does figure it out. And when he does finally figure it out, he's not allowed to talk about it.
Right.
And I love the episode of the cartoon that does that, of the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. And I love the concept for his own comic series as he does that. And I think it's a really good concept. Now we're trying to make it more serious again, because they're going to do a movie. But I'm really hoping, that Gunn pulls from what he read as a kid.
Yeah.
And pulls from this Booster Gold and stays true to that. And for God's sake, I hope we get the right Maxwell Lord.
I mean, I didn't mind the last one, but yeah, I know what you mean. You want somebody that's working in the shadow as well, putting on the good face and not giving.
Maxwell Lord is every villain now. Maxwell Lord was a fortune teller villain in comics. Maxwell Lord is Jeff Bezos. Maxwell Lord is Elon Musk. Maxwell Lord is all of these guys. That's the character.
Yeah.
Giffen and DeMatteis were prophetic in the way they wrote that character.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want. I don't want them to pull any punches there. And I don't want him to have a little girl that's his foil that keeps him from being like, it's no.
Yeah.
No. We want him to be. So Elon Musk probably isn't the right analog, because, Elon Musk has 1,700 kids out there, but
he doesn't necessarily care about them all. So
that is true. I don't think he cares about anything, but
the money.
And like stealing all of the government's data.
Yes. But like Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord would. Okay, so maybe Elon Musk is the right guy. Yeah. At least Bezos tries to keep a newspaper open and go to space, and I guess they both want to go to space.
They both want to. Who's gonna do it better and faster, get to where they want to go? And hopefully, maybe one of them will stay there.
Who knows? Well, on that note, I think it's a good time to wrap this one up. We've had a bit of banter, but we do want to remind you of a couple of things. One, we haven't talked about it in a few weeks, but Greg has a book all about space.
I do. Absolute Zeros Camp Launchpad. You can go get it at your local comic book shop. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it on the internet. If you want to. So it's in multiple places. It's out there. You can read it as a real book or digitally. I just met up with Mr. Tanner, Michael Tanner, my co-writer for that book, over the weekend, and had a great chat with him. So, yeah.
Again, I'm sure he was not a grumpy bear.
Actually, he was in a fantastic mood, Dan. I know, out of character. I don't know. He was he was delightful.
If he's not a big grumpy bear, then that's what makes him delightful, though. That's kind of
I know that is.
So.
I mean, as long as I've known Michael Tanner,
that's his character.
It is. I mean, we were younger. He was a little more bright eyes and everything like that. But then, life, it just gets you.
Well, he can be a big grumpy bear that's still cheerful and plays tricks and teases people. So
that's true.
Those things are not mutually exclusive.
We found out, and this is something for Seattle locals. Washington locals, but Pancake Chef, our beloved meetup spot, had closed, and then it was reopened again. But it was reopened again, so we went and ate at Pancake Chef. For the longest time, one of the things I could not enjoy at Pancake Chef was pancakes, because obviously I have a gluten intolerance. I can't eat them, obviously, right? So that's a big no-no. So usually I go there and I get like an omelet or a hash brown
Bacon and
plate.
eggs, or
Bacon and eggs,
sausage and
yeah.
eggs. Yummy. Great.
On
Much
their
better than
menu,
pancakes.
On their menu, they have gluten-free batter now, which they didn't have before. The new people that run it, they knew that I was coming, so they made me a cake. I actually had a delicious waffle with all the meats, and on the side, and eggs. It was fantastic.
Well, I had somebody I told about the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street in Kent, Washington today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, this person happens to be a former fighter that fought on the UFC Contender Series.
Oh, wow.
He runs the MMA program at Fitness Quest in Auburn.
Uh-huh.
Or no, he doesn't run it. Sorry, he rephrased that to me. He helps the fighters that are getting fights.
Okay.
Do that. So he told me he's retiring, or he retired after his last fight.
I see.
Which was like a week and a half ago. But
Nearly
I
retired.
told him about the Retro Emporium. So you may have a light heavyweight / heavyweight MMA fighter showing up at the Retro Emporium in Kent, Washington to relive his childhood.
That'd be awesome.
You too could relive your childhood at the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street in Kent, Washington between 3rd and 4th.
That's that right there in the heart of historic downtown Kent.
Yeah, and far away from the glitz and glamour of fake Kent.
Yes.
Like 4 blocks.
Yeah. It's such a weird downtown.
It's revitalized
in this 2-block radius that it's, I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about it, but I have nothing good at the same time.
Let's not worry about that. Just go to the Retro Emporium.
Yeah.
And of course, as always, if you are having a legal issue. In fact, this fighter who I didn't ask if I could say their name on the podcast, so I'm not going to say their name. But I mentioned to this fighter, we were talking about one Late Night Legal by Jiu-Jitsu Lawyer Paul. That's Jiu-Jitsu Lawyer Paul's company.
Yeah.
Night Legal PLLC, or Late Night Legal. If you want to email, you could always email him at lateknight, like knights in shining armor.
Knights in shining armor.
lateknightlegal@gmail.com. You could email Paul if you're having a legal issue. You can also call him too at 253-656-4475.
As I've done before.
As Greg has done before, and talk to Paul as well. But yes, if you are having any sort of legal issue and you have been denied wages from your employer, like the Squatcho man has,
what?
You of course can
he
contact
donates
Paul.
his time.
Oh yeah, that's legal in the state of Washington, is donating your time for work.
He's compensated. He's compensated quite well, Dan.
Oh, what do you pay him in baseball cards?
No,
that's how they trick you.
Squatch. I know, it's true. That's how they trick me. He gets compensated in Slim Jims and all the delicious snacks that he wants.
Okay. Well, on that note, snack time aside.
Yes.
I doubt this, because I don't think that Sasquatches eat Slim Jims.
It's interesting.
This is where your story starts to break down.
I mean, if the
you might advertise them.
I was gonna say, if the competing beef snack also has a Sasquatch out there, and it eats beef jerky. I think the Squatcho Man could eat a Slim Jim and it'd be fine.
I see.
Yeah. Everybody thinks they just eat nuts and berries and other things like that. I'm sorry, Dan. That I can't believe that Sasquatches don't eat meat.
Yeah, I don't like your analysis because that means he's probably out there pulling humans apart in the woods and eating them.
Saul Perez from Nerds of the Crypt would strongly agree with my assessment of Sasquatches as he saw a Bigfoot when he was a child eating chickens and trying to steal his dog. That's what he tells me, and I believe Saul. Saul, I believe that he had seen a Sasquatch Bigfoot monster eating the chickens at the neighbor's house and trying to steal his dog.
Okay. Well, let's do this. All right. Well, on that note, that's the end of this episode on I don't believe you. I don't believe that Squatcho Man eats meat. But with that aside, I don't have time to debate you. So we are going to end this episode of Funny Book Forensics. Next week, we will wrap up Booster Gold. This pretty cover.
Yes.
It's almost a shame.
It's a beautiful cover.
And
the interiors are so.
Well, there we go. Well, yeah, that does make sense. But we will wrap up Booster Gold and we will be off to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what yet.
Something fantastic.
But I am going to end, if you listen to the end, and I said we were ending, if you listen to the end, I'm going to give you one thing. If you can tell us the day this podcast is recorded, I'm going to give you a hint. It is the 4th inning, and the Mariners are up 6-2, and Dominic Canzone hit a grand slam. If you can tell us the date of today's podcast, the first person to reach out to me through Messenger on Facebook, or I guess I might get your message on X,
Instagram?
Blue Sky, or you could email us at dan@funnybookforensics.com. If you let me know the date this podcast was recorded, it's going to come out in the future, so I'm not going to tell you how far in the future. But if you can tell us the date this podcast was recorded, I will give you 1 ticket to attend Grid City Comic Con next November.
Oh my. That's awesome.
Yes. Now, so I will give you a ticket to Grid City Comic Con if next November, if you contact me and tell me the date of this podcast that we recorded it based on that clue. All right, that's it. Bye, everyone.